Wait for the drop. Hello, and welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 111. It's our 111th birthday.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
111th birthday.
111.
We're 111.
How does that feel?
I like that. I mean,
111 fingers.
In a
Pretty
way,
much,
yes.
mostly.
Maybe
we've got one or two here and
that's
there.
crazy.
That's a lot of fingers.
I can't believe that.
That sounds nuts.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
But thank you for that, Fingal.
Thanks for sending them in.
Boy.
To our wonderful email. Well, it doesn't work.
It's not popping up.
Oh, it doesn't pop up. Oh, well. Email hatchat@hat-films.com. Thanks for sending them in.
Indeed.
And thanks, like you say, Ensboy, for giving us that wonderful minimalist waiting for the drop Fingal there.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Much
you so
appreciated.
kindly.
So how do we celebrate our 111?
Guys, we missed
birthday?
last week and some drastic things happened.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating our 111th. And a bloody...
Oh, you're going hard in.
Oh, what? What am I going to mention? What am I going to mention?
I don't know.
Why are you going to
What happened since we last did
I
a
got
podcast?
COVID again.
You got COVID again.
You did get COVID again. Yeah.
Again.
Second
Fucking
time.
COVID. These two still
Bloody hell.
seemingly haven't had it, although I
think we're...
You must have had
Maybe
it.
we're
Ethan.
special. Maybe we are literally the people who will survive the
I
apocalypse.
was the one that was going to die. We always say that Trott's the one that's going to die first, but unsurprisingly, really, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be out on the streets collecting Coke cans in plastic bags, avoiding the plague.
Getting our tear.
Not
Like,
going
what-
into
I don't know
shaded
what's
areas
happening,
like
Trevor.
Will Smith in...
No, I'm thinking 28 days later style.
Oh,
Like,
God.
we've just woken up on our hospital beds.
That's
We're
going
like,
to be
what
the
the hell?
worst one.
That's the best one. I mean,
What?
best film.
Best film
To watch, yeah.
Worst reality.
Yeah.
Like the first 28
That's
days
terrifying.
later is
Oh,
terrifying.
harrowing. When they
Yeah,
run, it's the running
Yeah,
out
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like, whoa, these
The
fuckers
shit,
have
they've
energy.
invented running zombies.
And the
Yeah.
speed at which they turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I mean,
That
great
church
music.
scene. Oh,
Yeah.
So we'd be picking up Coke.
we
Cans.
do Coke
Well,
cans.
Pepsi cans if you're
Pepsi
Ross.
cans. Yeah, well, whatever's available.
He's got about 400 of
at
them in
that
the back
stage,
of his car.
Yeah, at that stage, it would be anything
Would
goes.
you try and make rudimentary armor from Pepsi
I think I
cans?
could. Well, no, it's very, very thin.
We could try and make you some armor.
Out of
If
Pepsi
you
cans.
collect your Pepsi cans for a while, and we can bash them into like an
There's a
armor
recycling
set for
store
you.
of cans just in my building.
You're
So
gonna
I
raid
could just
them?
get that. Just take that.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
how
we
you
can
get
just build
COVID, though.
ourselves. Yeah, well.
Well, that's how I got it. I was going when I go and
Washing a
drop
pool?
the bins off. I go and drink all the saves at the bottom of the cans in the recycling
freebie.
bin.
I think it's just an unfortunate genetic lottery for you. We've got
Yeah.
pure genes, and you've got gammy genes.
Yeah, got blue jeans.
Because I don't even feel like I've had it once. So maybe
felt like
am I
I've
due
had-
to get it?
I think it's 1 in 3 people are asymptomatic. So like it's quite likely.
I mean,
I know we're lucky. 2 of us have apparently.
I've been, safe, really safe, like hermiting when it was
but you've
asked
been
of.
exposed.
However,
recently,
I've been around people definitely that
Yeah.
have had it
Right,
very
okay.
soon after, like you.
Schiphol Airport is
Dead-
like
dead
feels
nut
like
gig.
ground
Went
zero.
through an airport.
I went through
yeah.
Schiphol Airport. I went through Bristol Airport twice.
Yeah,
I went to Greece
you
recently.
go to the gym regularly.
I
now,
go to the gym regularly,
which is where I think I got it the first time.
and I kiss so many people there. It's like,
Yeah.
hello.
That's
Good
how
to
they
see
do
you.
it in Greece, right?
Right, yeah.
A tongue kiss.
Yeah, that's how they
It's called
did it to
greasing
me
up.
at least.
Yeah,
Greasing up. But no, the Queen died.
yeah.
I knew he was going to say
The
it.
Yeah.
Queen died.
Go
Did
on,
that
man.
affect your life in a big way, apart from all the
No,
cancellations
the only
of
way
things,
it's
the fact that
affecting me
it was
is the
all
fact that
on the
you
news.
keep bringing it up.
It was everywhere. You
Not
couldn't
when I
avoid
was
it.
in Greece.
No, of course he's.
Well,
That
when
was the best escape.
so I got to LARP. Literally, as I got to LARP,
yeah. The
as
Queen's
it
dead.
happened, everyone's phones started pinging off, like going like ding ding, Queen's dead, and like a lot of police go to LARP. A lot of my friends in my group of LARPers are police, and they're like, they of course didn't say this, but they're like, ooh, fucking hell, better turn the phone off, because like they all get called up for like Operation whatever the hell it's called.
Right,
You know, the
okay.
one that's like
Yes.
London Bridge.
Bridge has fallen or something.
Yeah, Operation London Bridge.
Do you think people
and
want
of
to mistake
course
that
they
for like,
didn't say
fuck
that,
me?
but
We need to get the civil engineers out because the bridge is falling.
falling down.
Someone get the wrong message.
Yeah.
Operation London Bridge, you say? Fuck me. That's like a main...
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Fathers Against Children Justice again, is it? Fathers for Justice.
Fathers for Justice.
Yeah.
On the Buckingham Palace, where they just kind of wave a little flag.
It's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. They climbed up
No,
on
I
the
think,
bridge.
I think we literally finished our last podcast, and then the news report started. Like, well, it was weird because
So you're saying she got episode 110 in and then she popped
she
the
got
clogs.
110 in, I think. If she watched it live,
Good for
she
her.
would have just got it in.
Yeah.
But I think she died way earlier than they announced it, obviously.
Oh, definitely.
Because, well, and because the news report was... I
Definitely.
had the news on when I came back home, and then I was just like, oh, that's weird. They're like, shutting off all of the scheduled programming. And this guy's just go, oh, she's been taken to hospital. She's quite ill. And it's like, oh, okay. And then, like, within an hour, bloody Hugh was there. Hugh came in. He was on the evening news, mate. He's not daytime. This is not,
Yeah.
And then he got a black suit on. And that's like something, and it's just like, well, you haven't even announced it yet.
So you reckon maybe from
if she wasn't dead and they put a black suit on, cancelled programming, that's pretty offensive. Isn't it? It's like, oh, we're expecting her to... Oh, she's fine. Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, I'll just go change my suit then.
He just tears it off.
We were waiting. Oh, thank fuck.
And it's back to a Hawaiian shirt.
It's just like the what's it called, the Welsh flag.
Yeah.
Just like pajamas.
Oh. Yeah. No, it was very much... I mean, obviously, if the family had to arrive and stuff, I get why they did it. It's just, man.
I think it's all part
That was
of
like
Operation
12
London
hours
Bridge.
of television of just literally just watching a gate.
I think, there's probably like
There's a protocol.
There's a
behind it,
protocol where the news agencies like BBC get informed early, so they can do that. And it's like, oh my god! And then they have like a button that they press, and it's like Batman's cave, where the wardrobe spins around, and then there's a suit of black in there.
They step into it and then step
He puts
back.
his eye makeup on and a mask.
Do you think that they missed a trick where they didn't do a segment called Q with Hugh?
Q with Hugh.
And
they
where
should
he
have put
goes
him in the
along and
queue.
just
Oh,
asks.
fucking cute. This is what I mean. There's so many spin-off things off of this where it's just like, the next 10 days was just constant coverage and talking about the Queen and documentaries of the Queen and news presenters rambling about the same shit, and it's just like, okay, this is getting a bit much. And then the queue, where you've just got miles long queue of people just waiting
Apparently
to
there's only
walk past.
250,000 people who saw her lying in state.
Whoa!
No, I
Open
saw it. No,
casket.
I saw it. I
On
turned
TV.
on.
Open
Yeah.
I
casket.
turned on the TV.
Yeah, no,
I
it
looked at
wasn't
my
open
phone.
casket.
I was like,
Yeah.
There
Although
it is.
the person that bum rushed the casket, the guy that they had to
oh,
pull
there's a
off,
bum rusher.
they wanted to check that she was in there. That's the reason they gave for why they charged the casket.
Conspiracy theorist.
Because
Yeah. That's. I mean,
Well,
valid.
There's more
Why wasn't it
conspiracies. There's-
What happened to her?
I think she died, and people don't want to see an old lady dead.
I-
I
Tell you
don't know,
what,
some people do.
you're into your alien shit. You should really get the.
Speaking about into my alien,
You're into your aliens.
right? Okay.
You believe in aliens?
Yes,
You
I think
should
everyone
really,
should.
if you want conspiracies, just be on TikTok for a little bit, because holy shit, there's some Queen ones out there.
Oh,
what are they?
no.
What
Did
are
you
they?
hear about like the ITV news, like broadcast segment while they're like showing the coffin in the queue? Princess Diana is there in the background, and she gets picked up on the mic saying, "Death, this death is
Oh, I think
irreversible.
I've seen the clip. I've seen the clip of that.
She's
on Reddit.
trapped."
Death is irreversible.
What the fuck are they talking
No,
about?
I think it was. It sounded
Prin-
like it was someone in the
in the studio.
like where they did the vision mixing.
Yeah.
Someone was probably just chatting shit to their mate or whatever, or someone in there. It's like, oh, death
Yeah.
is irreversible. But like
She's
the
trapped.
people then suddenly thought it was like some sort of message about the fact that she's alive somewhere. What difference does it make?
I
She's
know.
alive somewhere.
It sounds like Princess
Like-
Diana.
Right.
Right. Okay. Oh,
That's
does it?
why it's like
God.
people are like, "That's Princess Diana," and she's like, "She's in the ITV news, is she?" And she's got a mic nearby.
Right. That's weird.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Because then there was the
But
controversy.
the words are
of-
weird. Death is irreversible. She's trapped.
Yeah.
Is it because?
I feel like you're proliferating.
I think he's enjoying it.
Conspiracy
Well,
theories.
let's indulge a little bit.
Okay, sure. Let's see what.
Death
yeah.
is irreversible. She is trapped.
Yes, that sounds.
What I think
yeah.
that means is she's
She's
gone too
dead.
far with Operation London Bridge. She's actually alive,
Right.
and she's actually tipped them off that she's
Okay.
dead.
And so
she's
why
like,
would-
"Oh fuck, I can't be alive again, so I have to
Okay.
go into hiding."
And so what
She's
is
trapped.
what's the benefit of doing that when she's 96 years old? Like, what's she hiding from
What
in that
if?
scenario?
What if she died? She died temporarily,
Yeah.
and then they
Oh,
started
it's
Operation
fine.
London Bridge, and then she woke up like, but we've already told. Hugh's got
To
his
be
black
honest,
suit on.
I think they would just be like, well, if she's fine for a bit, we'll just let it happen.
Yeah, but we've gone too far now. We've
But,
already started
yeah.
the,
I wonder what
the
killed her.
procession.
Stroke, probably. My nan seemed to think it was a stroke, or
Yeah.
like probably something
The strokes are usually
Blood
quite
clots.
older.
soft,
Yeah,
aren't they?
like just
Well,
old
what-
age
what?
shit. I mean,
So-
every 5 minutes she comes back and oh, Susan died of a stroke. And like her whole group of friends, they're just dropping off like flies, and it's always normally like a stroke and something
sad.
like that. But I imagine, they didn't mention it just because it's probably something, very fairly normal in that when you're that age.
I
I mean, my grandma's
cancelled loads of
my
stuff.
grandma's like 93 now,
Yeah.
and like she's still walking around, still compos mentis. Like, and I sometimes think that I'm like, fuck, what is going to kill you? Because like
loneliness kills you.
she's not lonely. I mean, my grandma is impressive person, and she.
I think it's your will to live. That's it. And loneliness apparently is the biggest killer.
Yeah.
Because you just
Philip died the year before, right?
Yeah.
So not even a year, was it?
I'm just saying, loneliness kills people.
Yeah. Somebody said heroin OD was cause of death.
She did a speedball.
I mean, we would never know.
We would never know.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not have a little speedball?
She might do.
I think it was quite remarkable how quickly it went from like she's not well, she's dead.
Well, no, it went from she's shaking hands with the new prime minister.
Yeah.
And the prime minister's second day, she's now got to prepare a fucking eulogy.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's.
What if Liz Truss
did
a shake hand?
Touch of trust.
And she said, like, pulled her in, whispered in the ear, the Lannisters send their regards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are clips of Truss literally slagging off the royals and saying she wanted to get rid of.
She was an anti-monarchist when she was part of the Liberal Democrats. Yeah.
But
Liberal Democrat Society.
Who knows what she believes in or cares about?
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly that.
I mean, we can plumb those depths forever and never find the bottom. I know. Yeah.
But she killed the Queen.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can clearly state now on the Hatchet podcast, Liz Truss killed Liz.
What if she falsely started Operation London Bridge, trapping the Queen into a death spiral where she's not actually dead, but she has to pretend to be dead now?
Maybe.
And now she has to have a face change, like face off.
She just came into power, right? And obviously there's loads of shit going on, with real people, like not the rich people. And she wanted a distraction, like, all the poor people love, the Queen and all that bullshit. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, well, next 12 days, they're concentrating on this while I can sort out shit in the back end for all my wealthy friends. Do you think that's probably likely? I think it's certainly a possibility.
That is a controversial
Queen's alive.
method of reasoning.
Queen is alive.
What if it's a Highlander scenario and there can only be one Liz?
Yeah, that is funny. I mean, funny for
That's funny.
If you don't look too closely about the actual reality of living in England, but it is. I mean, fuck, aren't they, man? I don't know. I feel like.
Let's not deal with real scenarios.
Yeah. My other question was just, did you care?
No.
In a sense of like, everyone's just like, she's like the nation's granny.
I'm so disenfranchised.
I don't get that. I think, but there's a huge segment, and we're part of this segment of our country that doesn't care about this stuff. Like, that's it. I mean, that is the reality. There are massive chunks of.
So you wouldn't join the queue with Dave Beckham?
No.
Or Susanna Reid?
I wouldn't.
No.
You would skip it.
I also don't care that Holly and Phil skipped it, and it's bizarre that anyone does care. Yeah. There are much bigger fish to fry.
Because they focused on Dave Beckham.
It's a smoke screen.
It was a comparison. They just put those two together, and it was just like, wow, look, which one of these two people are evil?
Yeah. But you can't get mad anymore at these people who are making these stupid things, because half the time the madness and the outrage is fabricated, and nobody actually feels that outrage. Like, I know nobody who cares whether Holly and Phil, these presenters in the UK that are quite well loved, they're on like morning TV, skipped the queue to see the Queen. I don't know anyone that went, can you believe they did it? However, there is a huge amount of news that says it's outrageous. So you've got to remember that a lot of the time that outrage is synthesized. And the second part of it is like, I've grown sick of being annoyed and outraged at the people in our country making stupid decisions, because whether or not I'm outraged or not, they keep making stupid decisions. So it's kind of like, well, like I'm not trying to be apathetic, but like at a certain point, it's like, we knew Brexit was going to be a fucking disaster. Oh, guess what? It's a fucking disaster. We knew that the people in the previous government were shysters who were just out in for it for themselves and their mates. And oh, look, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, you can only be right so many times and get angry about it at people so many times, right? I don't really know what the answer is anymore, because I don't really think it's helping that people are angry at each other.
I think we indulge in conspiracy theories until we get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, because Diana's alive.
Right.
You heard the voice.
Like, I don't care about Diana either. I don't give a shit about the royals.
Diana's
full
alive.
stop. I mean, you guys don't either, right? You find it funny because it is like
it's ridiculous.
It is.
It's more just that there's we're paying for them essentially as well. Well, there is an amount of. I mean, but then there is tourism. So I can appreciate that element.
Well, there's also the Dutchy lands. So this is something that I haven't read about for a while, so I'm probably going to get pulled up on it. And I have done in the past on live streams, people saying like, "Can't believe you're parroting this shit." But the Crown or the members of the
Netflix
royal family,
show or the actual
not
Crown.
The show, the family, the royal family own large swathes of land in the UK, and they don't give that land. They provide that land at very discounted rates to farmers and other people within the country. Like
Corgi
it's called the
breeders.
Duchy. So you know, like Stoke and Montacute, where we came from.
Yeah.
There's Duchy land there. That's why I've met Prince Charles. He was up the road from me in Stoke once, and I actually
How
spoke
are
to
his
him.
fingers?
Small and dumpy and weird, but he was very nice.
Little sausages.
And King Charles. I've met the King of England, and
It's nice, isn't it?
like yeah, you could argue, well, they were just given that land because they're royals. Like, if you go far enough and say, well, they shouldn't have that land at all, fair enough. That's a rational argument. If you think we should revoke all duchy land from the royals, fair enough. But they do actually make money for the country, or rather, they are a source of money beyond that of the sovereign grant, which is the money they receive from us.
Do they need to be active though? Because you could argue you could have tourism like you do in France, where there isn't a monarchy anymore, but they still have tourist attractions that are like, this is the history of the monarchy here.
Tourism isn't always the only reason to have a royal family.
No.
Like tourism in the UK the royal family does bring tourism money to the UK, but there are other ways that the royal family also generates money within the UK. I think that King Charles, he's very pro climate change, like not pro climate change. He's very conscious of climate change. He's a big naturalist. Like not a naturist.
Oh right, yeah,
a naturalist.
Okay. Yeah.
He does have some good causes at heart. You know, he does want to see like life and nature thrive within the UK, which I think is a good thing. Like, I think that we could have a much worse. We could have, Andrew on the ground. I'm sorry. We could have a much worse situation. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily pro-royal, but I think that it's not necessarily the worst thing going on in the UK right now. I really don't think it's worth us worrying about.
I think it's bad when you have 10 days of like NHS being shut, or like on a specific day.
Yeah.
Like there's some bad decisions made as a result of the royalists,
or tax policies making the division in wealth even greater in our country every day.
Yeah.
On a macro point of view, just looking at all of those things, then like there's like you say, food banks were closing.
Yeah.
And like
absurd.
people are struggling, and
It's
cost of living
crazy.
crisis, energy prices are all over the place.
150 million is a drop in the bucket.
And then they've got like the wedding, and not the wedding, the funeral. I keep calling it a wedding because it was at Westminster Abbey.
What if it was a secret wedding?
It might be a secret wedding,
Yeah.
like on top of the
On the death was a smokescreen.
yeah. Who got married?
Andrew.
Oh my god, no.
Anyway, hypothetical.
So that's the Queen. She died.
That's the Queen. She's dead now.
Yeah, whatever you feel about it, it happened now.
Get
to
over
hear
it.
about it.
There are much
a long
bigger
period of time.
fish to fry than the royal family, and I think that's
They're
how
not
I really
fish,
feel
they're
about it.
lizards.
We got at least another 15-20 years for the next funeral, so got some time.
Time to
Fingers
kill.
crossed. Who knows?
That's
Seen
going to be
his fingers?
the
It's heart disease.
last Queen for a long time.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Because it's like Prince Charles, Prince William.
No, there's Queen Camilla, mate.
Also,
Yeah.
likely the
Consort.
longest ruling monarch in hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I think that's partly why it was such a big deal. 70 years of rule.
So it is all about length. I knew it.
Was she still alive
I
when
knew it.
And girth.
they were an active
And
part
girth.
of like colonizing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why I can't really get on board with the monarchy, because of our really heinous, violent acts of
Well, it wasn't-
spreading.
Yeah, there's all sorts of racist shit and
Well, yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, again, you want to open that can of worms?
It's
just,
exposed to us on a daily basis. Like, it's a reminder, isn't it? Like, well, we got a king and queen that's a bloodline of.
Well, the British
Would
Empire.
you choose to be a king?
In
Yeah.
what context?
Yeah.
To be the king
I'll be
of
king.
England?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
The
like you
royals
have to
have a
take
shit
Charles'
life.
place. It's shit, isn't it?
The royals have a shit life.
You get ferried around. You don't have any privacy. Like, I guess you could get privacy, but you have to be a hermit,
Yeah.
essentially, or like go to very most remote places.
You're
And it's
born
just
into a celeb status.
And then when you die, you have this kind of like quite just like. Christ, that box has travelled more Britain than I have. It's all over. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh
but
my
you're
god!
dead.
I know you're
Doesn't
dead
matter.
then, but it's just like the family have to then ferry
Endure
around with
that.
it, and it's just like, my god, there's just like
It's a bit much, isn't
it's
it?
over the top. And then just
Prince,
have to
didn't
just
Prince
have-
Charles have to go to every county
something like that. Oh, no, it was like
to
various
receive
places,
his like mourning?
some traditional
Yeah.
bollocks, but yeah.
Sorry about
But
Mumsy.
yeah, I mean, until she was
Disposal
worked until she was
of mouth
96, day before.
I know exactly, and I think that is quite remarkable. I think that even if you think it's completely deluded and misguided what she did,
But ferrying around like a 70-year-old traveling the way she was, like
It's a lot.
it's a bit shit, isn't it? So it's just like, I don't know. You wouldn't want to be.
No, I don't think I'd turn it down.
Would you be Harry though?
No.
I mean, you look a bit like Harry,
Thanks.
so you could be Harry. You're now
Yeah.
Harry.
I mean, Harry's probably having apart from the brutalization of the press that he
His
receives.
family hate him.
Yeah,
He can't talk
but
because they don't trust him.
he's wealthy. healthy.
A hot wife.
Has a hot wife.
Fair play.
And he gets to live somewhere like the States with loads of money.
Nice. And he's still considered a royal, even though he's technically been like, I'm not royal.
Yeah. And he got to be the gunner in an Apache gunship, which, if you look beyond the brutality, is probably a fucking cool job.
Right. I was talking about Harry Potter, by the way.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. That Harry.
I don't remember the Apache.
Yeah, the Apache.
Oh, he was in the Apache.
Yeah,
the Nimbus,
hot wife.
the Nimbus 3000 with Hellfires.
Let's move on.
Had to mention Harry Potter.
From the monarchy, the royals, into our hypotheticals.
Yes. What is the hypothetical of today?
So our patrons have chosen. We have
patrons.
these.
Where would they?
They would be on patreon.com/hatfilms, and they'd be supporting us wonderfully to allow us to continue to do things like this podcast, the Booty D&D show, and other things such as that. So thank you very much, patrons. You're all credited at the end of the video here, and also you get to vote on the hypothetical. Nice. Which one do they pick first?
Is it
number
one? The one, yeah, okay. It says, you find someone suspended but asleep, like in some sort of cryo chamber. A note says, if more than 30 years have passed, don't wake me up. A nearby machine shows this person has been in there for over 800 years. Do you wake them up?
No. Oh, wait, hold on, it's meant to be funny.
Right. Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Well, let's indulge a little bit. So, what could be so bad?
I will preface it by saying, if there's any medical machinery or anything, I won't touch it.
What could be so bad?
I mean, what's this? Where am I? Where am I finding this? So it says you find someone suspended. Where are they suspended? Like in literally a pod, like in
Let's
Futurama?
just assume it's like you've stumbled upon like a really secret,
it's like
highly sophisticated tech that's just.
Is it in a place it shouldn't be, like in a basement, where it's like, oh fuck, maybe we should wake them up? Or is it in a hospital where it's like, oh, I'm in a hospital, this isn't my business?
You find it in my basement.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a really high-tech facility.
It's like Stargate when they find like old Atlantean tech, like ancient tech. They're like, ooh, look at this.
They just built on top.
800 years.
That's a long time.
I'm more curious about the technology that exists, but I would open it. I'm opening it.
I guess that's probably the only thing that would make me open it. Be like, where the hell did this technology come from? And
is it
how can I get more?
Like a dinosaur?
Maybe you take them out.
Yeah, and put yourself in.
Put yourself in.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably do that.
Yeah.
Be like,
and I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd be like, when I get old enough, I'm going to cry on myself.
Yeah.
The fact that they managed to cryo themselves 800 years ago is impressive.
Mm.
So I would open it assuming that whatever's in it is dead.
What if it's
what
like,
next?
Yeah, what? Okay.
So they came out. They're greeting me.
800 years old, so that would be like 1200s.
What if yeah, exactly. Well, you're presuming that they would come from that era, but if they've got this technology, you'd have to presume that they're not. They're outside of the human global timescale. Because you're right. Yeah, they'd be from like the freaking Dark Ages, but like
they may not be human at all.
Yeah,
they could be an alien.
And if it is the 30-year limit is busted, right? Then you would have like maybe it's like they've got massive cellular degeneration in their brain, so they're just like an absolute drooling idiot. So you're like, they've been over frozen. They've been, because even food that's frozen goes out of date eventually, right?
It goes too frozen.
Too like, frozen too.
If you had peas before, which are too frozen, where they actually look more wrinkled.
Yeah,
it's like over frozen.
Yeah.
It's like the cells
froze down. It's just I think is it 3 months?
Because there's a slight expansion.
6 months.
That occurs when you freeze.
Yeah. Well, this is why cryo is so hard to work out at the moment for human beings.
Have you seen that company that has been actively cryoing people's bodies?
Is that the one that Walt Disney's a part of?
I don't know if I have.
It's a private company.
Yeah.
And I saw it. There's a video of like vats of people. It's like, how many do you fit in there? It's like 30 of our clients. They keep saying clients instead of like bodies.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you want the cheaper option, we have cryoed people's heads over here. Literally just heads.
So in that scenario,
and they're just like hoping for the tech.
When they're getting frozen, they surely should be alive at the time of freezing.
I think it's when they die.
Well, that makes no sense then, surely. If they're dead, they're dead. You freeze a dead body, it's going to come out dead. You freeze an alive body, it's going to come out dead. But like, if you cryogenic freeze it, surely you have to be alive for that. I don't know.
So the fundamental,
your brain isn't dead then until it's actually dead because you froze it.
The fundamental problem with cryogenically freezing people is that when you freeze
it's really cold.
It expands, right? So the liquid within the cells expands, and it usually damages the cells of the body. So that's the problem. I don't know whether they fix that or they're just going like, well, hopefully in the future we'll work out how to defuck you. But like, I think I could be tempted to have the head freezing thing done. But the problem is, like, you know, like for example, egg freezing. Women freezing their eggs is becoming more and more of a thing because of societal challenges of having kids when you're younger. Like people finding it hard to have both a career and children. So a lot of
delay it a bit.
A lot of women are choosing to delay having children by freezing their eggs. But it's about £5,000 a year to have your egg frozen, just to keep your one egg frozen per year. So
that's an expensive fridge freezer combi.
It's an expensive subscription, like, you know, like that's so there's an ongoing cost that these people at these cryo places must be paying in order to have that. Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it?
Well, I've got one kidney that could be sold for a decent chunk. I reckon that would pay for a year.
How much can we sell our kidney for?
I don't think they're even worth that much. I think like about $8,000 maybe.
Still, that's a year and a bit.
And hard times if you want a small loan.
Permanently adjusting your living standards. Removing a kidney, you can survive without one.
My other kidney's gone. Well, I need a kidney transplant because I gave my other one away.
We'll just all start like spreading them around.
Yeah. What about sperm samples? Do they charge much for those? Is the freezing the same deal with those, or is it kind of a bit more like on bulk? You get a cheaper price?
I think it's much more common to freeze eggs because sperm doesn't degrade as much.
If you came into my house and opened my fridge and there were like a row of just these samples,
I'd be like, this isn't effective.
What would you do?
Why are you bothering?
And also your age on them is a sticker.
You take a selfie each time.
Age 21.
You use like the Game Boy printer.
Yeah.
This is small image.
All my samples over the years. That's the oldest one in the corner.
So we'd open up this hypothetical 800-year-old person.
I think
just to see.
I'm curious because not only is there crazy technology here, I want to see what's going on. But
I'd be very
what's
worried.
The buttons? Is there just one big button and it's like on or off? And it's like turn it off. But I'd be worried about killing whatever it is.
Also disease. This is the problem with like the melting of ice caps and things like that. We're uncovering bacteria and diseases that are held within soil, viruses as well, that have been frozen for millions of years, and we don't have any, like within the population, we don't have any immunity to. So you unfreeze somebody that's been in something.
Doesn't it go the other way though as well?
What?
As in like if like tribes where, you know, when
they would be
people
infected
visit
by us.
them, they get mostly they just die of the common cold.
Yeah, well, with you it would be chlamydia, but like
it would be chlamydia from just fucking on the tribes people. Let's have a go. Let's all have a go.
Come on. How often do you get this opportunity?
Come on.
But they're like,
fuck the modern man.
Hell face. Have a ghosty.
Yeah.
No, I think that it'd be extremely risky to do, and I probably wouldn't.
Boring.
I know.
I'd want to see what it is.
Yeah.
So I'd smash the glass.
Would you be content if like that was the last thing you were ever able to do?
Because I've killed myself in the process.
Yeah, you're like, wow, worth it. Dead.
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of things you might walk into traffic and be, my last thing I did was walk into traffic.
The last thing you could potentially
Why would you do that?
Is release an 8-head.
Maybe I saw a cryo chamber in the middle of the road and I wanted to unlock it.
God,
then the car hit me.
How's everyone missed that?
The last thing that hit me was the car.
Bus.
The car.
No, I would open it to see what's going on inside it. Yeah,
I would definitely be inquisitive. I'd probably get a long stick and try and be in the room next door, then open it and have like a quick shut door situation.
I think that more realistic, I'd try and find somebody who was running this thing. Unless I was breaking and entering. It's abandoned.
It's abandoned, super high tech, big green button saying unlock.
Well, this is like partly like you'd have to have like a whole society around maintaining that cryo thing for 800 years.
Yeah, really archaic as well. Like what kind of? It looks like maybe.
No, it's beyond anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah, I imagine it's
using
made of like shipping
materials
or like kind of like wrought
iron.
Yeah,
what from all the shipping that was going on in 1200 AD?
Maybe boats. Did they?
They had boats, but not like steel.
Okay, so it's made out of wood.
Yeah.
I don't think they had steel. They might have had steel.
Again, this may not be that society. You know, maybe in a hidden
they would have
super
had steel.
advanced.
In 1200, in the Dark Ages, I think they still had steel.
Yeah, maybe.
Can't imagine it was
either way. It looks archaic. It's covered in cobwebs.
It's
and I'm turning
steampunky.
it off.
Okay, sure, whatever.
I'm opening it up.
Yeah. Also, they wouldn't speak like English. Like not our kind of English.
Yeah, and they're trying to warn you
Is that the worry?
Like, don't come near me, but they're just it's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean the
Would
warning.
You try and kill it?
Kill it. I'm calling it now.
We don't know what it is.
Okay, would I try and kill it? I'd certainly be ready with a varied array of improvised weapons. Yeah, like Link's cannon, a lighter, for fire, just in case you need
Lynx
that.
cannon and lightsaber. It's
A
always the
trowel
classic go-to.
tied to the end of a pole for like an improvised spear.
Mm-hmm.
You open up
Yeah.
the cryo chamber. It was misty. You couldn't see on the side. Just a silhouette. It looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Classic. And I'd be like, oh, I'm in a film. This is a trope.
I'm in a film.
Well, how does it go?
Where's Spielberg? Where the fuck is Spielberg?
Got cut.
This is a classic. I'd be like,
You've been clapped.
well, my life is not a reality. Yeah, I'd be like, well, I'm in a simulation. That's what I'd be like. I'd be like, oh, okay.
Would you lose your mind? You go insane?
No, I'd fucking love it. I'd love knowing something about my own reality. I think that's actually quite a nice assurity. I think that's why people look for conspiracies. I think that's why people look for truth. Is out there.
You get the answer.
Because yeah, exactly. You have an answer.
You've
and that's
unlocked
why
God
people
mode.
cling to like religion and stuff, because I think naturally we all cling to
Fear of
some
death.
form of control. Well, it's 100% partly a fear of death. I don't think it's always a fear of death. It's also just like a need for understanding and a need for control over one's reality in understanding it.
Easier to follow some rules that are set by a greater power.
Yeah, especially when you have to reason them out yourself, and that's pretty hard.
Just offload that on someone else. Book told me.
Yeah, I
Would
mean,
you get
you're
inside
sounding
it?
very reductive to these
Do you think you
people.
get inside it? Would you get inside it?
What, the cryo thing? I'm like,
I thought you
only if
meant-
I was ready.
Assume you could lay down and just push a button.
Would
There's
you
no
get
other
inside?
technology
Yeah,
involved.
that's like a different question. It's like asking what age would you give up on this life?
Oh yeah, I guess that's the...
Because you'd have to leave.
But the
everything
risk
behind.
of that versus getting to see a future.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is so beyond
I think-
anything.
I
I
mean,
mean-
astronauts who are preparing for these types of things,
Yeah.
where they're like, oh well, you know, you're gonna have to travel X amount of
Billions
years.
of light years. Yeah. You ready to sleep?
And what year do you start? Do you start as an infant? How do you persuade? How do you even get the concept across?
fuck. We cryoed so
Small.
many babies and they're not trained.
They're not. Yeah, the training process in
baby
space.
division. The door falls and they just
Yeah.
drop. Oh, they've been eaten by wolves. Instant wolf
Yeah.
eating.
God damn it, they don't understand their highly sophisticated astronaut suit.
Robot mothers. That's what they need.
Robot mothers. This is like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah.
No spoilies, but I mean, yeah.
Massive spoilie there.
There are mothers.
I mean, I think one of the best arguments is this whole thing about like, why the fuck are we worrying about living on Mars when we've got a planet that has the best conditions for us right
Isn't
now?
it about mining? I got
Some
the
of it
impression
is.
that, like-
asteroid belt mining is.
Yeah.
I think you're more likely to get better stuff out of an asteroid belt than you are out of
Bell
Mars.
does. Bell order.
But like, I mean, I'm up for space travel and exploration 100%. But like, we should be doing absolutely everything we can to maintain the planet we evolved on before we go and try and live on a horribly
Have you seen those
inhospitable place
machines
like Mars.
that will convert like carbon dioxide? Do they convert or do they
Convert
trap
it?
it? They like collect it.
Yeah, so there's carbon trapping.
like, puts it
carbon
in the
capture,
ground
that's
further.
called. Yep,
What
carbon
does that-
capture.
Where does it put it?
It's
Just in the
quite
ground.
inefficient.
Yeah. So you
at the
can.
moment.
It's not considered a particularly useful technology because the investment required, it would be potentially, some research suggests, better to just invest in renewables instead.
I think if there are some breakthroughs with it, though, it could be
Yeah.
a viable thing.
But yeah, you impregnate the ground with carbon dioxide because there's loads of stuff in the ground that can absorb carbon dioxide.
I will say the counter argument to like colonizing Mars, etc., is not necessarily that we just want to be on another planet. It's also like having the ISS.
Yeah.
Which is like, what's the point of having this thing outside our
Well, yeah,
Earth?
of course, exactly. Yeah,
But like
I'm
the-
up for
the
technological
The
progress.
science that's gone on
Yeah.
as a result of us being in outer orbit
Yep.
has influenced benefits to people here.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm not against space travel. I just think that like,
I don't think Elon Musk should have been given the reins to
yeah,
do that.
it should be a national thing.
Like,
not
he's
an
insane.
individual thing. Yeah. He's
But-
an idiot.
I'd rather it be NASA and they take their time with it, but sure.
Who
Whatever.
will claim the moon first?
Well, the US technically claimed the moon when they landed on it
They
first.
put the flag down.
Does that count?
No.
You
But
watching that moon landing shit?
what, the conspiracy stuff?
Moon landing
No.
shit.
I mean, I
Have you
think
seen the footage there? It's impressive
of what?
of them landing.
Yeah.
It's impressive they managed to like
It is. It's
Transmit that
incredible
down.
considering like
considering I got like,
it was all
Wi-Fi
done on
goes in certain rooms. It's-
yeah.
I'm looking forward to them going back.
Yeah. It'd be good to get high fidelity.
Is that what are they just sending
Artemis, yeah.
probes around there? What are they doing?
The first launch will be an
They failed
orbit.
twice, right? Well, they couldn't launch it.
They're basically sending an ISS equivalent around the moon, which would then be a en route location to then send people down.
Cool.
I believe. And then it's the SpaceX part is the human to moon delivery spaceship.
Very cool. I mean, it would be amazing to stand on the moon. I don't know whether that'll ever happen in our lifetime, but
do you think an elevator to the moon is even physically possible?
not with
because of the
current
orbit.
engineering, I think, but that's the idea. Not to the moon.
If it's attached, if they're both attached.
So
and they
space
spin,
elevators.
surely that would cripple it every
that
time.
would fuck the ecosystem. Like oceans, waves.
It holds it,
gravitation.
Hold it in place
and pull it around with me.
Let's make the solar system like a locked thing.
Let's lock it in with our elevator. We can go up to it.
Okay,
that's fine.
This is for Dr. Simon Clark to do another video on. What happens if you just lock the moon?
Does it? Mess
with a space elevator, so it's permanently in the same place, just so we can go visit it.
Yeah.
What happens?
Like a lift to the top.
How long is that lift though? I mean, we wouldn't.
Could you fucking cry me?
Cry me up there, Jesus.
It's gonna take days.
Because the lift up to the Empire State is it's long.
Yeah. Imagine that, but
it's
like
a real watch tapper.
At least 3 times as high.
Well, imagine the structures that are like been built underground. There's some subterranean structures that go down really far as well. That that would feel pretty scary as well. I think. Like, oh my god, we are deep down.
Oh shit! What film did I watch the other day? Oh, I think it was like The Core. I think I watched.
Oh god, that's awful. Why do you even watching some trash?
I put it on. The thing is, whatever Netflix.
Because there's nothing on TV because it's in the morning period.
Yeah, this is the thing. Anything but the Queen shit.
You keep scrubbing that. That's not turning back on, is it?
Not turning back on.
Has he got run out of battery?
No, it's just But oh, I lose my face. There we go. No, the core where they literally dig directly into the core, and I cannot believe the PS2 graphics of any of the simulation they did through that. Like, there's a one point where like
what film? What year?
It's called The Core.
Is it
2007?
The Nespresso guy in it or not?
Nespresso.
Who's in it? Ethan, the guy, the Two-Face.
Ethan Hawke.
Not
that guy.
The other guy, yeah.
Two-Face.
The guy who plays Two-Face in Dark Knight.
In Dark Knight.
Ethan, is it? Is it Ethan?
Yeah, I've seen it. They're like, in like a long snake.
They're
drilling
a long
thing.
drilling thing, which is like basically lasering the earth through. And like at one point, it looks like they've done a magic school bus and they're inside like a circulatory system, and it's just like, what was their intention with what this is?
Bizarre.
Like, you're just inside minerals, bro. It's like, what is this?
It's so shit. It's like one of these shit films. Like,
it's
you can
amazing.
tell from the
it's
outset
amazing they made it. It's
how
like
shit
so
it's
dumb.
gonna be.
Aaron Eckhart. Yeah.
It's like a Halle Berry film. You know, like pretty much any film.
Which one?
What about Rihanna Battleship Star?
Oh yeah, see that one awful as well. Moonfall, that recent film that came out. You don't even have to see it to know it's going to be garbage.
Like, moon's falling.
Like it blows my mind how many of these terrible films get
I
made.
like disaster films. I think they're really interesting.
I know you do.
But the
Some of them
core
are.
was
You
Some of
like
them are
the
great.
destruction sims.
I hope it was close to Deep Impact.
That's a
but
great
the core,
film.
I think I mistook the two. I was like, shit, the thumbnail looked similar, and I was like, I'll click on that, see what it's like.
Nothing's going to beat Armageddon, and let's just...
Day After Tomorrow was pretty cool.
Okay.
Volcano was a big one.
The Rock?
With Pierce Brosnan. The Rock? Is that a disaster film?
No, I'm just talking about the wrestler.
Oh, the wrestler. No.
He was in
I just
one,
love a good
wasn't he?
decent disaster film. Where it's not too CGI-y, like the one with The Rock in. What was that one called?
Is that the one with the tower?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But that...
There's
something about disaster films that are quite
that one where like the
interesting.
fissures... was that when the Yellowstone supervolcano goes up? The one with the rock?
I think so.
The skyscraper one, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, skyscraper one.
Yeah.
What's that one? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
There is something oddly entrancing about seeing the world just...
Chaos.
The chaos.
Have you seen the Snowpiercer film?
Little we are. Snowpiercer. No, I haven't.
The film. The film's not bad. Pretty dark, but...
The series, is that on a train? Wait, I think I have something else?
It's basically this idea that like there's this train that's constantly going around the world, and because there's been like a global ice age, basically, and this thing just takes them around, and they live on this train, and it's like a metaphor for tiers of society. Yeah. But the original film, I think, is Korean. That's really good. I didn't really vibe with the series.
Okay. Dante's Peak.
Yep, Dante's Peak. Classic.
When the granny has to walk through the acid. Oh, that's where most of my viewings have been of it, yeah. Geography, why? Like, maybe that's it. Are they saying that's a realistic interpretation of what should happen?
I think they just wanted to instill an abject fear of volcanoes.
Yeah,
I just don't understand why the granny got out of the boat. Remember that bit? Where they're all paddling with their arms like, the acid in the water, the pH levels are too high. And then she goes, fuck it, I'm going to stand out. And they're like 2 meters away from the edge. Like they're so close to the edge. She just stood out and goes, "Oh, I'll help," and then she basically just dies in the water.
Melts away.
Just outside, melts away. Yeah.
She gets sulfuric.
Oh, yeah.
Or hydrochloric.
That's Dante's Peak for you.
That's natural selection.
Classic. That one's just.
Well,
it was pretty. They could have just kept rowing.
They could have.
Pathetic. Anyway, that was disaster films.
Let us know your favourite disaster films in email form.
If you want the emails of that.
No, I don't. But if you want to send in some funny news, that'd be good.
We do have some. In fact, one
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea, is that a disaster film?
With the giant shark?
Yeah, I know.
And the underwater
Samuel L.
platform?
Jackson's on that one.
Yeah, it's not a disaster film. But
It's not a disaster, it was a shark film. It's like a Jaws-esque film. No, this actually goes back to your talking of the frozen egg situation.
Brilliant.
So the headline pulled me in with Utah woman, 56, pregnant with her son's baby. As a surrogate.
Oh my god.
As a surrogate.
Oh.
As a surrogate. Yeah.
So she's carrying her son.
Now that's not the. Now this is one of the.
56. They're not even a good surrogate.
56 is the age for her son's child. Now, obviously, when you say a surrogate, it suddenly takes all the sharpness of that edge. Because it's like, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not as bad.
It's a little weird.
Still, I mean, the fact that most of the headlines don't include the as surrogate part, because why would they?
Imagine being told,
I found one which did.
when you're old enough to understand.
Yeah.
There's like, Granny.
She birthed you. She held you.
She physically gave birth to you.
Yeah. But this dude's wife couldn't have a baby. She had to have
fair enough. She stood up,
and then she stepped up. But 56, you'd think you'd shop around a little bit. I'm not sure what the processes
like buying an
are.
oven from a car boot sale.
Yeah, sure.
Forgive the analogy.
It was just like a.
You could have thought of a better one. You wanted to say that one.
I was like, what's old and rickety and kind of gross? I think that
it's his mum. Mum's giving birth to his baby. I mean, it's a bit. I mean, it's in Utah.
Are there complications with like being a surrogate mother of that age? I assume there is.
The doctor gave her the go-ahead, so apparently that's fine. But I think you would
2 thumbs up.
I think in
40 minus anything under 40, just in case.
Ideally, it starts getting worse.
The fact that you're rolling the dice on this anyway.
Yeah.
You want to roll the dice in a more secure.
But this is the thing. If you're carrying as a surrogate versus like inseminating your own eggs.
Yeah.
Is there
what?
As in like getting pregnant with your own reproductive system, right? With your own ovaries. Yeah. And that is what's happening, isn't it? What? They put the sperm in.
No, the egg as well.
Both
the egg as well. The sperm.
So this is what I'm
saying.
Little cocktail in there.
This is what I'm saying. It's like it's not her egg, not her sperm.
Yeah.
It's her body that's like carrying the baby in the womb.
Yeah, she's just literally.
Is there less complications with that?
Probably.
Versus...
I'm not a doctor, but I'd like to know. I see what you're saying. I guess probably. I think some of the complications would come from old eggs. I think that in a different light, this is a very cute, nice thing that woman has done for her child.
Of course.
But in an easier to poke fun at light, it is pretty strange. And I feel like there could be a more sinister like old woman desperately wanting to be feeling, because being pregnant seems like it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it seems pretty shitty. You've got to be.
We don't have to worry about it.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
No.
I don't know if you've been told that.
I know, we were born.
We can't get pregnant.
I know.
But I think some people enjoy being pregnant. There's a glow about people. They kind of get treated differently as well. Like
there's definitely like
that seat on the bus. That
you think it's the treatment
you always want on the bus?
Oh,
they get it.
Finally get that seat.
All they have to do is have their bladder crushed for 9 months.
Severe back issues and weird cravings.
And
then squeeze a human being out of their sex organ.
Yeah. And usually tear something in the process.
Yeah. Often have to have staples on their gooch.
There's many pregnant people who listen to this podcast.
I'm sure they know what they're in for.
Tell us your harrowing stories.
Having to staple back the butthole and the vagina.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff that like they gloss over. It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But the reality is like, oh God!
That's not what this is about. This is about
like the thing.
If your mum birthed your child, that's the situation. It's one that I feel like would be mocked at if kids at school found out about it. But after that, you're kind of like, well, it doesn't make a difference, does it?
I feel like
it's just more strain on the mother in the fact that she's 56 and she has to give birth.
Yeah, 56. I personally wouldn't burden my mum with that. I
think she probably offered up.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I can't imagine it was a situation where it's like, Mum, please, it has to be you.
In my specific context, I'd be like, that is too much for you, burden for you to bear.
Also, this is the thing. It's just like you want the best for the kid just in case. But obviously, what if it kills the mother? Let's think on a dramatic side.
What if House of Dragons that shit?
Yeah, and it becomes like a really dark tale.
The first episode's pretty intense.
My son killed my mother after being born. He
bursting out like a goddamn
burst
xenomorph.
Fucking hell.
We put the egg in the wrong place. It's bursting out of her stomach.
It's bursting
God.
through.
It's not the
He's
womb
gonna
at
kill
all.
your mom. No one kills my mom. Then he has to shrink down and
shoots
goes
his own
inside and
baby.
kills his
Oh,
baby
right.
Yeah.
by fighting it.
Like that film where he's in a little submarine that gets injected into people.
Yeah.
That was quite a good film. You know that film? What's that called?
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called?
Like it's another 90s film where he gets he's in a little
Yeah, I
submarine.
know what you mean.
Oh,
And like one way he sees through the eyes by firing these little like grapples onto the optic
can't
nerve,
remember now.
and then it comes up on the TVs. And the person who has
Just
that
like
happen
intercepting the signal.
to them, yeah, is like
Fantastic Voyage.
fantastic voyage.
is that the one?
I think
Thanks,
it's
Chat.
that one. Honey, I Shrunk the
I don't
Kids.
think
It's not that one.
It's not Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. No.
The other story is quite. We've
Inner Space?
discussed this before. Fecal philanthropist donates poop to save lives.
Yep.
So there is someone who's
That's
getting
great.
paid $50 a turn to just poop on a plate, and they collect it and pop it
Perfectly
in someone
healthy
else's
person.
butt.
I would be tempted to try a fecal transplant.
Me too.
Yeah.
You want to do it? You and me?
What
I
if you
mean, like,
had
I
to
don't know
meet
if
the
you can just
person
sign
before it
up for it.
happens?
Would you gain my
Would you rather
memories?
not know who it came
Would I
from?
get your meds?
Should we just clumsily do it to each other? I'll take yours. You've got.
Do we
I've
eat
got one. We've got let's make a cocktail of each other's.
What do we
Put it in
do?
a turkey
So this is
baster.
yours twos, and then you've got.
You mix it with
my
piss.
twos.
You mix it with a bit of piss. Put it in a turkey baster.
Yeah.
Squid it up there.
Okay.
This is actually interesting.
How do I feel? Oh, a bit mentally revolted.
sick.
I guess I
So-
feel sick.
Whilst talking about poop,
Nice, okay.
I got really constipated last week,
Okay.
as chat knows, because during the stream on Monday, I suddenly had to go poopy because
Oh, wow. Floodgates
the
open.
various what are they called, tablets, laxatives I took finally kicked in.
What do you mean various?
I took a few different ones,
Oh, nice.
Different brands.
because they
in
weren't
case.
working, so I
Oh
took
my!
more.
You've done this before.
It's a bit like edibles. You know, you have one, it doesn't kick in, so you have another one, and then 2 hours later.
But I've thought you've learnt this.
No,
lesson.
that wasn't a laxative. That was a
Constipation.
that was a what's the opposite of a laxative?
Constipation.
No, that's what you are. Well,
A blocker upper.
a tablet that I had in America that made me blocked up, which took me like 4 or 5 days to poo again. Well, anyway, COVID seems to affect my gastro system, my guts, right? My gutty works, and it made me not poop properly for like 5 days, to the point where I was like, oh god, I feel so full, you know, and like achy because of how backed up I was. So anyway, I looked into laxatives and I went and got a few from the chemist.
Why get a few?
Because one of them was
try.
a stool softener, and one of them's what's called a stimulant laxative.
Right, okay.
So one of them basically over time, over a couple of days, draws more moisture from your bowel into your poop. If you asked.
No, I'm just trying to process it.
And
all.
it softens the poop to make things easier. The other one is called a stimulant laxative because it causes bowel movements. So it has an effect on your body which causes your bowel to try and move more poop through you, right? Anyway, so I was taking them orally. There are suppository options, right? So
Why didn't you go for
Pop
this?
a little bullet up your ass.
well, exactly. I've never done that. Like, suppository medication is not unusual, especially in hospitals where, you know, because taking orally can... There's challenges there where your stomach acid can destroy the compounds you're trying to ingest, all that sort of shit. So suppositories aren't unusual. I've never had to take one. But if you take an oral laxative, it takes about 6 to 8 hours normally. Take a suppository laxative of the same material, the same compound, takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And I was like, that is an express laxative, isn't it? Isn't that crazy?
It sounds like you really want to do it.
So
No, I didn't do it.
listened to the Always Sunny podcast recently. And they Glenn from that specifically said that when he gets constipated, he pictures a dog doing a poop, and it helps him do a poop because he can picture it coming out of a butt, and that is part of his
What's the
process.
psychological barrier?
I don't know, because obviously it's clearly is also a physical thing in
What?
terms
Yeah.
you can't push it out. It's just
Okay.
like, but apparently he just thinks of that and that helps him.
Maybe
But
it's just posture.
Do you guys want to maybe do like a competition where we each take a suppository laxative and see how long we can go before we poop?
You have to hold it in.
do
Yeah.
you think there's any real what's the contest? What are you winning?
Holding on for as long as possible.
Right.
We'll make a little award.
Does
You
it
need to win
Are there any
something.
other?
The comedy is the
I
win.
just
Imagine a live stream where we're all just waiting and the audience is just like...
well, that's me. I think then here I am. I'm ready to go. And then what?
Yeah, and then
Is it just how many times you go back and forth? Like
no, it's just like, you cannot poop. You've got to not poop.
It's like Hunger Games.
Oh right,
It's
hold it
like
in for
the
as long as possible.
Epicac challenge. Remember that, where like people would like down the Epicac.
So there may be a chance that we could shit ourselves.
That's exciting to watch.
Stream. Yeah.
Maybe then people could donate for make us do different things, like get on a treadmill or
like a stool cam?
Do some squats.
eat a milkshake.
Are we wearing like
milkshake,
white shorts just in case?
Yeah.
Oh god.
White morph
Shorts,
suits.
white morph suits. Yeah. And so it's like, well, I can't hold it anymore.
So
It's
gross.
real like Dirty Sanchez levels of
Yeah,
like
that is
gross
gross.
out stuff. But also, I don't know whether that would be like quite against TOS.
Yeah,
but
it would,
do you think so?
I think so.
You're defecating.
But what is against
on
you?
live stream.
Wasn't somebody had sex on live stream the other day?
Did they?
But I don't think it was visible. But they were. I think their head was visible.
I think it was all visible.
Now, if I said that I'm having sex right now, does that what if I was? You don't know. Oh look, I am.
Oh, look at
Like,
that.
do we get cancelled
pig.
straight away? Like, or if I said I'm shitting myself right now on stream?
No, you
It's
don't.
only if it's visible. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure
like
what
there's
the limitations
intent
are.
and there's.
It was like that time I farted on the floor and accidentally shit myself. We weren't live streaming at the time, but it was in this room.
Yeah, of course. But
Yeah.
like, I'm just saying,
I'm
I
gonna have to
don't
go home.
I haven't read the terms of services
Shit
recently.
myself.
I'm just wondering if we just suddenly, if one of us shits ourselves and we're still streaming, but we're maintaining composure, doesn't matter.
I
Does
think we could argue the
it? So
case.
if we are fucking at the same time as
Yeah.
remaining a composure,
no one knows.
I think we're
outside.
obscure enough to
No one
avoid most
knows.
repercussions, to be honest with you. The
Yeah.
problem is we're
It's
also
not-
too obscure
yeah.
that when those repercussions eventually come along, we're going to have no way to...
No
like,
traction.
Yeah,
Bounce back.
no
Yeah.
recourse. Like, well, they found us and now nobody cares.
Yeah.
anyway. Well,
Too big
that's
to
my
fall.
news stories. Philanthropist donates poop. Would you sell your poop for $50 a go? I think I would.
You know what?
I mean, I'm currently just flushing it down the
Yeah.
toilet, so
I'm-
they don't want my poop, though.
No, it's
I'm
annoying.
waiting for poop.
You're-
I don't want to give my
You
poop
want to
away.
pay for the poop.
I
Okay.
want healthy poop.
And how
There's-
do you define the health from that? You just
Someone that's like got good genes and like good immune
Right,
system
okay.
response
Good
and
diet.
good diet.
Yeah, there's like all sorts of stuff about.
Is there a
people
line
transplants.
if you had to look at a portrait of this person,
An Argos catalogue.
an Argos catalog of this person, and like, I don't know,
Yeah,
is there a line you would draw? For
there's all sorts of
I
interesting
wouldn't- I don't
research
want it
about
from that
fecal
person.
transplant.
It's like
I don't want.
What
Like-
what are you
would-
suggesting?
I only
like
want women's poo.
If it was just like
They're really healthy.
I only want women
maybe
But they are in prison.
yeah, or they've done some horrible crime or something. Like, I don't want his
I don't
poo,
think
but
that
it's
poop
really good
would
poo.
influence that. Maybe it does. Maybe it drives into murder.
I'm
The
not
thing
saying it
about-
drives it, but your personal opinion, that person.
I just want
Yeah.
their shit.
I know I've romanticized it with the turkey baster idea, but like the actual reality of fecal transplants, I think requires surgery. I think it needs.
Oh.
I think it
They
needs
need
to
to
be
put
put
it in.
into the bowel,
Yeah.
which is
Too invasive.
because then
invasive.
basically you change the microbial
much.
culture within your gut.
You
and
can't
then-
just anti-shit.
no
Like just suck it up instead of...
reverse shit,
Yeah.
reverse eating.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah,
Hope to find a better way.
I'm
Like-
not constipated anymore, which is good.
What if there's one
Well,
match
after a few
and it's your dad's
laxatives.
poo?
Huh?
What if there's one match and it turns out it's your dad's? You've got to take a big dollop of his poop inside you.
Well, you know that when you're born, your mother transfers part of their microbial culture to you through the
Okay.
shit element.
That seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, and like so that's why cesarean section is not ideal because it avoids elements of the birth which transfer like microbial and bacterial benefits. That's actually true.
Okay.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we've gone from, a swath of...
My mum had the shit, so I came out on like a flume.
Oh,
You know,
right,
like the splash zone of a big water slide. Whoa! I came out, and then they take the ring out, and they're like, "Get out of the way! More people are coming down."
So, taking multiple laxatives, it just runs in the family. I see.
Yeah, this is every morning. I take it like a vitamin.
Gotta poop.
Here we go.
Just try drinking a coffee.
It's a great way to stay in shape.
Yeah, coffee makes me
I was
shit.
trying. Oh yeah, absolutely. I was on all of it. Believe me,
Yeah.
I was backed up
Still wasn't enough.
like there was a fatberg in me.
Oh.
You know, maybe there was. Some guys turned up.
You could
They're
be
like,
backed
all right,
up.
we're from Wessex Water.
We had to suction a big, large, horrible drain. Someone called us about. Yeah, it's my asshole. Ah,
Right.
very
Get
well.
the plunger.
All right, let's get this. We've got specialised
Get the
instrument for this.
fucking plunger out. Anyway, I think we've
That's
definitely
poopy, isn't it?
done our
Sorry.
time here.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you all for listening today. We hope you had a great time on this roller coaster of an adventure using
Yeah,
our
yeah,
voices.
As Ronan Keating once said.
Life is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
He did say that. He sang it.
He sang it too. Fair
You know,
play.
Darius Dinesh died.
Oh. Did they do?
Christ.
Was there a queue?
Sorry, I knew you were wrapping up, but this is pretty
Darius?
important.
Was there a queue for that
There
one?
wasn't a queue for him, no. You know, he once was working with a charity,
He was only like 35, wasn't he?
40 something, yeah, but pretty young.
40 something.
He was working with a charity, right, that was about providing clean water for less advantaged people. And he was on like one of the bridges in London showing people like this device that they'd created to like help filter water. And like he was like showing them by taking water out of the Thames and then filtering it through this device. Turns out the company had given him a prototype that didn't work yet. He ended up getting a bacterial infection that went to his brain and nearly killed him. He was in a coma for 2 weeks.
That didn't kill him.
That didn't kill him, but like he nearly did die.
Jesus.
You got to be pretty pissed off at that company, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. He was drinking dirty.
Oh, this
Thames
doesn't
water.
work.
He's also selling that idea to people as well.
Well, it was like a charity thing, so he was doing it for like free to help promote the clean water thing. He's like, look how good it is.
He
And
got
then
what in his brain? Like a
bacteria, like basically not meningitis, but you know how bacterial meningitis can kill you really quickly. That. So he had swelling of the brain, coma, whole 9 yards.
Jesus.
They do say, yeah, do not drink or get any of that stuff in your mouth.
I
like
saw a
from any
video.
river water,
something
really.
similar
kind of
like that, where it's like someone
horribles.
was proving that the water here is clean, and then they drank it and they were just like,
I fucked up.
yeah.
Yeah, most city rivers are you
Mate,
shouldn't swim
hubris.
in them. Like they swim in the Bristol one sometimes.
I've stopped
and,
doing
like,
it.
You stopped, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't do the butterfly in it anymore.
You can't. You just
get sucked under with the mud.
The water's awful. They have to do like regular E. coli checks and everything. Like city, do not swim in rivers near cities.
Don't even go kayaking.
Well,
in
there's by the harbour side, there's like warnings everywhere saying you do not attempt to drink the water. It's filled with bacteria.
Jokes on you. I've
got a novelty straw.
It's more state control.
Someone left a stack of tumblers here for a reason.
Come on, kids, fill your boots.
Anyway, thank you for listening today.
Thanks, guys. Thank you
for our 111th birthday.
Yeah.
We'll see you for next week.
112th birthday.
112th.
Every podcast's a birthday.
Yeah. I hope you had a great time. Thank you to our patrons once again for supporting us on patreon.com/hatfilms. You're great. And also to
Big
our
time.
Fingles creators.
Yeah.
If you could send some more in, that'd be great. hatchat@hat-films.com. Email, attach, ding dong. We want to hear them. We want to play them.
They're good.
And we'll see you in a week.
Indeed.
Have a great time.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Wait. Wait for the drop. Wait. Wait for the drop. Wait.